Greetings and salutations, it's Halloween. Nerds and nerdettes, ghouls, and all those other fucking undead itty-bitties that are out there with internet access, thank you for tuning in. But I want to make a video talking about a bunch of random horror-type games that you ought to be playing on Halloween, or on Devil's Night yesterday, and which, Devil's Night, don't worry, I never forget about you, I love you so much! But I got a big stack of games here, and I already know, well, why didn't you mention this, and this, and this, and this? Dude, there's like a million fucking games out there. I'm just listing off these ones for the sheer shits and giggles of it, because, well, expanding everybody's fucking, like, gaming library to shit that they ought to be checking out is something I like to do. Example, do you like my jack-o'-lantern? Isn't that nice? I like that a whole bunch. Legitimately, I thought it was better than making a face on a jack-o'-lantern. So anyway. Now, got a big old pile of games here, so I'm just gonna pick up this first pile. Little Red Riding Hood Zombie Barbecue. To begin with, that's a mouthful, that's what she said. And this game is one of the few games I ever even did a review on. I really need to start getting to reviews, don't worry, that's gonna end up happening soon. But this game right here is kind of like a top-down shooter, and you just take control of Little Red Riding Hood, and you shoot the fuck out of a whole bunch of things in a big-time fantasy world, but it's all corrupted and stuff. Kind of take like Alice Madness Returns, that type of deal, where they just take something that you know and love from folklore and then turn it into some crazy shit like this. So it's cartoonish violence and stuff, but it's very cool and a really fucking challenging game. I like it a whole lot, so shooter fans, you know, there you go. A game that was overlooked on the Gamecube for a long time and then just suddenly started getting a whole bunch of, like, underground love from fans, and that's Luigi's Mansion. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I know the Gamecube launched without a Mario game, but this shit was amazing to me. I'm like, oh my god, it's Luigi! I fucking love Luigi! And he's in a horror game! That's amazing! Oh my god, so cool! Now, granted, a lot of people have probably played Dark Moon, but I'm waiting for Nintendo to go and re-release this in HD or some shit like that. Maybe add in stuff that they took out of it originally, but either way, you're Luigi, you're inside of a mansion, you're going around hunting down ghosts and stuff. And that's essentially it. You have a little vacuum cleaner, and you're just sucking them up into there. And it's just a really cool game. I like it a bunch. So yeah, everybody should be playing that if you haven't already played it to begin with. An overlooked title on the Sega Genesis, and back when Electronic Arts was kicking ass and taking names, and that's Haunting! And, oh yeah, starring Poltergeist. Sorry, I gotta go and remember that. But Poltergeist essentially goes... Imagine somebody that's kind of like a knockoff version of Beetlejuice to a certain extent, except for he's got this whole punk vibe to him. But anyway, so you're jumping inside of all this random shit inside of regular-ass people's houses. You know, from toasters to refrigerators to lamps and stuff, and you're just trying to scare the ever-loving shit out of the people there. That's the premise. Scare them to death. That's fucking amazing. I love stuff like that. So, yeah, you get to do that, and, like, if you look on the back, there's all sorts of shit going on. You jump inside this painting, and then all of a sudden a big eyeball comes out and starts bleeding onto the floor, and right there, this person's getting scared out of their skin. It's cool shit, and you don't actually get to see that a whole lot nowadays. So, yeah, I like that. A game that I consistently tell people, why the fuck hasn't anybody played it? This is one of the most overlooked games from last gen. I promise you 100%, and I swear to you. And it's got like a trifecta of awesomeness behind it. I mean, you got Suda51, you got Shinji Mikami, and you got the fucking dude that did all the Silent Hill music, wrapped up into Shadows of the Motherfucking Damned. This game right here is fucking awesome as shit. Take one part Resident Evil, take one part just does not give a fuck tongue-in-cheek dark humor, Evil Dead references and stuff. And Garcia Hotspur, the main character, okay, a big boner! His gun gets really fucking big and turns into a gigantic boner type thing, and essentially it's like a big mega crotch-like shotgun, and it's fucking awesome. There's lots of witty humor in this, the control's really nice. You get to run on a gigantic tit because you're trying to go and save your girlfriend and stuff, because unfortunately, well, you have to go to hell itself. It's fucking nuts, but it's a really cool game, has a great soundtrack, very awesome stuff. As a matter of fact, I should probably play some of the music in it while I'm doing this video. Maybe I'll actually do that now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, yeah, you have to play it. Seriously, it's so fucking good. It's on 360 and PS3. Speaking of other overlooked games, Splatterhouse! Here, I'll try to line it up right there. I can be like Rick and stuff, except for I need to be like way more buff. Got those Alpha Omega guns though. So anyhow, now this right here includes the older Splatterhouse games, which is amazing. You actually get to unlock them. But this right here, it's one of those games where some people are like, yeah, but there isn't much to it other than just senseless violence and action. That's it. That's all the fuck I wanted anyway. There's certain games where it's just a hack and slash beat 'em up, just fuck it. Like, if you like Dynasty Warriors, for example, you'd probably dig something like this, because it's essentially the same premise. You just go from point A to point B and kill everything in your path. And then they have, like, these little 2D sections, where it's like the old school Splatterhouse, where you're, you know, you have to avoid some of the traps and stuff that are coming down and trying to go and hit you, and just, I don't know, it's really cool, and I like this a whole bunch, and it's got tons of metal in it. Like, there's a good amount of thrash metal in it, so all metalheads out there, you ought to be playing this game. Seriously. Play this game, it'll make your life better. How about an RPG? How about a survival horror RPG? Way ahead of its time and still one of the best games on PlayStation 1 and one of my favorite games. Parasite Eve. Try to get the glare off there. Parasite motherfucking Eve. Parasite Eve 2 is just as amazing. It's about as close to a Resident Evil RPG as we'll get. But the first one, for some reason, I just like a whole lot more because it's more RPG than it is survival horror. But a game like this, I love to death. To begin with, the battle system, you run around, like, and you have, like, this little grid will come up over you, and wherever the grid can go, you can actually, like, shoot within it. And the monsters are all fucking horrific and really messed up. Like, the first time I saw the rat go and start transforming and shit, its eyes all coming apart and its ribs are all coming out and shit, I'm just like, dude, that's fucking awesome. And Aya, however you want to go and pronounce it, is a bad bitch. She'll go around and fuck up anything and everything, and it's a really good RPG. Just, like, it was kind of cool to be able to play something, like, to me it was refreshing, because you're playing something in a modern day setting, whereas most RPGs that we were playing were set, you know, in a science fiction world, were set in a fantasy setting, like, way back in the days of the knights and kingdoms and shit. But this was set in a modern day setting, and it's pretty damn gory, at least as far as, like, the cinematics go, and they were way ahead of their time too with doing stuff like this. But great music, great action, great, it's amazing. I can't recommend it enough. Please play it. Holy fuck, it's awesome. One of the granddaddies of the survival horror genre, and I can always tell people, if you have not played it yet, you really should. And that's the original Silent Hill. And granted, yeah, I talk about Resident Evil all the time, so that's one of the reasons why I was kind of avoiding Resident Evil, but Silent Hill, this is where it all started. I still remember the very first time playing this, and I was amazed by some of the cinematic camera angles that they were going with it, because, like, the camera was actually moving around like this depending on the motion of you. You know, the monsters themselves were so different from what you were used to. Like, they literally looked horrific. You know, the little faceless children and shit that are coming after you whenever you're inside the school and stuff, and all the shit that's, like, flying around. Anytime that you heard, like, that radio going off, you knew shit was coming. You're like, no, fuck. All I have is this goddamn pipe. Fuck, no. But, you know, it's got a whole bunch of weird-ass puzzles. The piano puzzle. Anybody who has played the game, you understand, like, the first time you came across the piano puzzle and you didn't have access to the internet, back in the days where dial-up was still a thing, you were losing your fucking mind over some shit like that. But this game still stands up. It's really fun. It's still got some of the best atmosphere of any game out there. Really good music, and just, it's great. I mean, it's literally one of the best. This game right here has one of my favorite all-time female video game characters ever, and that's Regina from Dino Crisis. And Dino Crisis is the shit. And everybody was at the time was like, it's just Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Suck my motherfucking jolly Irish goddamn meat submarine cock. This game is a lot more than that. To begin with, the idea of a fucking T-Rex coming after you is horrifying. Because a T-Rex is just like, that's a window. Fuck the entire side of your house. It's like, dude, this is even cool. How the fuck are you gonna escape this shit? But the raptors and stuff, they were a lot smarter than the zombies and stuff, unless, you know, you pulled that shit where you put up one of those electric grids and stuff, and they just run up and keep bumping into it, and, you know, it's taking advantage of dumb AI at certain points. But for the most part, they weren't slow and shit. I mean, they'd run around stuff and come after you and fuck your day up. But and back to Regina. Regina was just, like, a really cool character because she was a smartass. I actually liked her. And amazingly enough, some of the characters that they were originally going to have in the first Resident Evil kind of showed up in this. Most people don't know that. And if I'm not mistaken, it's this one that has the Resident Evil no, it's not. Okay, anyway. I think that's Dino Crisis too. Fuck, I forget now. Anyway, so But this game, it's very awesome. It's survival horror, but, you know, now you got dinosaurs and stuff. The second one plays a lot more like an arcade game, and avoid the third one. Always avoid the third one. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that shit. All they decided to do was go and fuck it up, but yeah. Now, this is a reproduction cartridge. You can go and find a ROM online somewhere. If you ever get bored, check out JonTron's review for it, because it's pretty goddamn amusing. But it's Clock Tower! Clock Tower! You'll get caught up in a clock tower! And it's Crossfire, fuck you. Anyway, so Clock Tower. Back in like 8-bit and 16-bit days, we didn't really have a lot of survival horror games. You didn't have a lot of horror games in general, but, you know, Sweet Home on NES, by the way, another reproduction cartridge I have, which is sitting right up there. Download the ROM of that. And it's actually an RPG too, now I think that. Huh, there you go. And that's technically the predecessor to the Resident Evil series, but we're talking about Clock Tower. Okay, Scissor Man will chase your ass down. I actually forget his name off the top of my head. He has a name, and I can't fucking remember it. Does it say on the back real quick? No, I don't actually see that. Anyway, so you're running around inside of this, watching a lot of fucking people get offed left and right. And everywhere that you think you're safe, Scissor Man fucking jumps out, and he looks like a fucking carny. Like, he legit looks like he came from a fucking carnival. But this dude has shears, like, the same size as you. And, I mean, all it says is, please impale me, or just, like, snickerty, snip, 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 there goes my fucking limbs flying out everywhere. Like, he'll be crashing down through windows, he's coming up from behind things, through things and shit. You never know where this motherfucker's coming from. Like, you think you're safe, you're like, oh man, I outran that little bastard, his legs are fucking small as shit. It's gonna take him like twice the time to be able to get here. And all of a sudden he just busts out of nowhere. So, and it's a point-and-click style game. I know that some people get annoyed with those style games, but I don't give a fuck. It's still really good because there's lots of jump scares to be had with something like this. So, you should play it. Like I said, you can get it in ROM form. That's like way easier than trying to find a reproduction cartridge, because those shits now cost a lot. Because Time Walk Games isn't even around now. Whoa. Anyhow, so one of the best co-op games in the entire universe, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's also available on Sega Genesis, but you'd be a fucking fool to play that over this one, because this one's just better. Okay, this right here is LucasArts and Konami coming together and having the most badass little fucking baby ever. You take control of two random teenagers going around in a kind of tongue-in-cheek, I've used that term like multiple times in this, but trust me, it actually works in this. You're going around fighting shit like little Chucky-like dolls, you're fighting Frankenstein monsters all over the place, random vampires, we can go and call them Dracula or Dracules, or I have no fucking clue. Shitloads of zombies, like, you know, the title would suggest, also one of my all-time favorite video game covers. If you ever saw that video that I did, then, you know, I brought this up. But I asked for this on my birthday. I think I was in like 4th grade or some shit whenever I asked for it. This is all I wanted for my birthday, and I got it and thought it was amazing. And there's tons of fucking stages, like fucking tons. Like, you have no idea. It took me so goddamn long to be able to trudge through the game, and I still haven't actually beaten it. I got to that one stage with the gigantic spider that's inside that office building. It looks like a library, sort of. But yeah, that boss is just so fucking hard. You need to have 2 players to go and really beat the shit out of it. But you get like squirt guns, bazookas, a weed whacker and shit. You get all sorts of stuff. There's dudes that look like Jason Voorhees that are the most horrifying motherfuckers to chase you, because they take tons of shots, tons of damage. They're just like, oh, that's so cute. You're trying to shoot me. And you're just like fucking all sorts of dead. But with 2 players, this is legitimately one of the funnest games ever. Funnest! So, yeah, definitely play that. These I'm just going to include together. Resident Evil, Umbrella Chronicles, and Darkside Chronicles. I know I said I was going to talk about Resident Evil, but these actually get overlooked a whole lot. I like on-rail shooter, like arcade-style games like House of the Dead. And everybody should know about House of the Dead because those games are amazing. Play the Overkill games, by the way. They're fucking awesome. But anyway, these get overlooked like a motherfucker, and these take you through Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4. It's taking you through all the Resident Evil games, and you can interact with all the backgrounds, keep playing through the stages, trying to find all these secrets and files and weapons and stuff. Graphically, the games look amazing. Like, they're on par with the Resident Evil remake and Resident Evil 0, except for it's an arcade-style shooter, and these are fun as fuck. I hate the fact when people are like, oh, the Wii doesn't have any good games. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Well, when you put that motherfucking crack pipe down, maybe you'll be playing shit like this, which is A+ material right here. It's just a good action-type game. That's literally it. Anything that you want to pick up and play, blast a fucking head off some zombies and shit, got you covered right here. So you should be playing them because they're amazing. A game that I feel gets overlooked quite a bit, which kind of bums me out. And I like the sequel, but I always preferred the first one in general, and that's the original Condemned. And you can get this on PC and 360 and stuff, but the original Condemned, holy fuck balls, this game is awesome. The first time that I got to boot it up and you're walking around like it's a first-person game, and I know most people are like, oh, give a fuck about first-person shooters, but this is one of those doing first person right, because it's not like a Modern Warfare Battlefield fucking clone or something like that. It's like first person melee, which sounds kind of crazy, but it works out really well. Like, you literally have to get used to parrying and dodging and shit and counterattacking and stuff. It's really cool. You'll have all these crazy motherfuckers in legit crack house looking condemned buildings. Hi, condemned. And coming after you. You're a private investigator type detective, whatever the fuck, dude. And you're trying to go and solve all these really messed up murders and shit that are going on. Meanwhile, getting attacked by all these fucking people, and it's just fun as fuck. It's like, there, if you want to look on the back, aha! But it's a great game. You should play it because it's Condemned and it's fucking awesome. Seriously, Sega, can we have a Condemned 3? Just Condemned 3, please. It'd be very cool. And both these I'm going to include together because these were one of the main reasons why I bought an Xbox outside of things like Shenmue 2 and Gun Valkyrie and Panzer Dragoon Orta. But that was Otogi. Otogi? I'm going to go with Otogi. But anyway, Otogi, when I was playing it back in the day, it reminded me a lot of something like an action game similar to like Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry type games that were around at the time. And you essentially play their version of death, and you're just a Reaper of Souls and stuff. And you can go and destroy the fucking environments to hell and back, and you're just taking your badass sword, running up, comboing the living shit out of things, and it's just very fucking awesome. The second game added a lot more characters to go and play as, but I always played as the fucking OG of the entire series, because that was my preference, sorry, but I'm one of those people, the first character I get used to playing as, that's who I end up playing as throughout the entire, like, series of whatever the fucking franchise is. But these are damn good games, and I'm actually still kind of wondering why the fuck we haven't gotten a re-release of these, so Sega, yeah, kind of need to go and do that. HD re-release, maybe? Can we get that? Huh? I don't know. But beautiful environments, really somber type music, and the setting, it's like, it's spooky, but it's all like, oh, fucking scary and stuff. But, yeah. And there's a fucking ton more games. Like, you already know I have tons of horror games. I have tons and tons and tons. But this time of year, I want to go and talk about these. And I know that I've been talking fast because I had a lot of games to go through, but if anybody wants to go and recommend some more stuff, by all means, down in the comment section, you can do that. But if you do end up checking out any of these games because you end up finding them through this video and you enjoy them, please leave a comment and let me know, because that makes my day. You have no idea. Like, it actually makes me happy. I'm like, oh my god, they liked it. They really liked it. So that always makes me happy. So, happy AlphaOmegaSin. It's like, happy console gamer, AlphaOmegaSin, had a love child. Nah, but seriously, these games are all fucking righteous, rad fucking games that everybody should be playing. They're fucking cool, and it's Halloween night, so if you're not partying, you end up finding yourself playing some games, bickety bam, play those. Also, you can play them through November and December and January and February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. So there you go. That's really nice too, huh? Anyhow, so I will go and conclude this video like I always do. Nerds, nerdettes, and gamers, game the fuck on.